Happy New Year, everybody. Today, Christian and I are shining our crystal ball. It is so shiny, we are going to tell you what is going to happen in 2024. This is our predictions for 2024. And we talk about Truck of the Year and some other stuff.
That's right.
Coming up right now on Service Drive Revolution. We recently took our team to Vegas, to the Sphere, to watch the movie. Not to see U2.
The other thing.
Yeah, I would go back and watch U2, but I don't get U2 in there. It doesn't seem like a place for a concert.
No, it definitely was the place for that movie, though. A Postcard from Earth, I think it was called, right?
Yeah, by Aronofsky. And were there 10 of us that went? I don't know. I would suggest everybody go see it. It's an insight into experience. Like if you're running a service department, you're really in the business of creating experiences for clients, and they definitely are on the cutting edge of adult experience. I don't know about kids, but when you go there, the way it's laid out, the way it's designed, how easy it is to get a snack, the robots in the lobby that you can talk to, and then just the overall, they're blowing air, temperature, haptics.
The seat vibrated.
Yeah, haptics.
Yeah, is that haptics?
The smell. So there's smell in there. And then the screen is, it's not like VR. It's just, it's completely round. It's nuts.
Yeah, immersive was the word I used to describe it. I thought it was phenomenal. Then, like from a service manager perspective, like paying attention to what it's like for the participant from the time they walk in the door to the time that they are escorted out. Like I thought it was a high level of intentionality, not just during the performance, before and after. Was really
interesting
good.
Too when we were leaving that people were lining up for the next show and how they moved us out and
smoothly.
How many people?
So the venue holds 18,000. This is
probably 10.
My unofficial guess is there was 10,000 people in there.
Because for the movie they close off the sides.
That's right.
Which makes sense because you probably wouldn't want to see the movie on the sides, but the concert would probably be okay from the side.
Heads up to Yosh, who got us the best seats in the house. We're in the center of the Sphere.
Nobody knows who Yosh is, but me and you.
Yeah. Well,
you just voodoo.
I'm just name dropping.
Yosh.
Thanks, Josh. But they were great seats for the experience.
Then we took everybody to dinner.
Talk about another great experience.
And who was right behind you that you didn't notice?
Within 5 feet, would you say is pretty accurate? I don't remember because I didn't notice.
A foot.
Oh, it was a foot behind me. Garth Brooks.
Yeah. Didn't notice.
I grew up in a small town in the 90s. I'm a pretty big Garth Brooks fan.
One of the, highlights of my music fandom is seeing Garth Brooks at the Encore Acoustic for like 2.5 hours.
Oh, I bet that was a
It was
trip.
like the last show of the weekend, and he just went. He just played forever. It was incredible.
Yeah, I could have touched him.
What's your favorite Garth Brooks song?
Oh, I think it's Wild. No, Friends in Low Places probably. I know it's cliche, but I really like that song.
Have you ever seen the stuff that Tom Segura does to Garth?
No.
Oh, you should look that up. It's pretty funny. I do think it's interesting that he was dressed in all Carhartt, like he's a rancher.
Yeah.
Even though he's
in Vegas doing a residency.
I don't think he's a rancher.
Yeah.
Just guessing.
He could.
I think he might live on a ranch, but I don't think he's a rancher.
Yeah.
You think Garth's getting up and shoveling cow pies at 4:30 in the morning?
No. I do think that there are country musicians that do. I just don't think he's one of them.
Yeah. He's trying to dress like he is.
Yeah.
It's funny.
But he has good taste in restaurants because that place was out of this world. It was so wonderful. That food was Good stuff.
Yeah, we have a little inside track. So it's Mr. Chow's is the restaurant?
Yeah.
Because we probably didn't say that.
It's at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah. But we have friends.
Not in low places.
I think you've met the son of the owner of that
I
restaurant
think I have too.
at a party at my house. I'm pretty sure.
What's wrong with me that I'm completely unfazed by all that stuff? Like,
Who cares? They're just people. But you know them. But they do a great job. Man, the food is so good.
it was art. It was art. And that steak was phenomenal. It was a lot of protein. Helps out with my body.
You know where I went on the other night for dinner?
I'm gonna guess cut.
Yeah. Do you know that I had a bet with somebody about that?
No, tell me more.
So they and I don't think I should say the name of the restaurant because it doesn't matter. But they said, I went to this restaurant or whatever, kind of a steak place. Best steak in the world, the guy says. I was like, interesting. Because the best steak in the world is at cut, and you're not saying cut, so it turns into a bet. Have I told you this story?
No, this is great though.
So it turns into a bet.
Okay.
And so the bet is, I will buy it at cut. He will buy it this other place, and we went to cut first. Guess what happened?
He said you don't need to go to the other place would be my guess.
Yeah, he took one bite of the steak at cut and he goes, "Oh, yeah, no, you win."
That's kind of fun.
Kind of got suckered into it.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool things about cut, but that steak is by far one of the most amazing food experiences I've ever had.
Went there on the weekend, and that steak. So I get the filet that's half Angus, half Wagyu from Australia.
Yep.
It comes as a 6-ounce steak.
Yeah.
And
you
I
like
usually
to add
2 ounces.
That's right.
Did you know that you can add 6 ounces to the 6?
Yeah.
You could do
as many ounces as you want to add.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I was with somebody who did that.
They went 12?
They went 10.
That's a big steak.
I stayed with my 8. I don't need more than that.
Yeah.
There's something about it's just more filling, so rich. So
forces
good,
you to enjoy every bite. When you get 10 ounces, there's a lot of meat.
Boy, we drank a lot of wine.
Did you? Did you have Camus, or did you have the big brother to Camus?
The one that we had at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, what's the name of that again?
Something with a P.
Got a picture.
I don't even know. The guy just brings it out now.
Oh, yeah.
He comes to me, he goes, this is, Mr. Collins, this is our last bottle. And I go, I have a couple at home. You want me to run and get them? They're like a fifth of what you charge. You didn't think that was funny?
No. I think it's great. That guy always has a story for you.
But the second bottle that we had was better than the... We were all like, whoa, what the... He comes up to me with the wine list. He's like, okay, for your second bottle. And I go, just keep it in this price range. And then he goes, okay, I got the perfect one. And he did. Bo is his name, the sommelier there. He's great.
He lights up when you walk in. It's pretty hilarious to watch.
But I think that's because I just want to learn. Like, I love...
Oh, yeah. He tells you the stories.
Yeah, he's educating me. So... I feel pretty confident that I could go just about anywhere and order a bottle that would, most wine lists, I can order something that everybody would be like, oh, this is, good.
He also is a really good example of somebody that really likes what he does for a living.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
those guys work some hours. You think in the car business we work hours?
I think it's kindergarten compared to what you have to do in that industry.
He's there until 2, 3, and then he's up again at 6 meeting with
vendors and doing inventory and everything like that. Yeah.
It's nuts.
That time that we met with...
And they get 1 day off a week.
Yeah, and it's probably Tuesday. Like it's a terrible day off.
It's Monday.
But okay. But
They're closed.
But they're committed to customer service.
I'm getting hungry just talking about this. Okay, let's do the news, and then we'll do our predictions.
Yeah, so this all kind of goes along with the new year. And the first thing I want to talk about, and it's super interesting to me, is Motor Trend, came out with their Truck of the Year contest, which I used to really follow this. I remember when I was younger, because I always wanted, like, I was rooting for people and everything like that. But who do you think won Truck of the Year?
Truck of the Year. So I'm going to guess. Can I have a hint? Is it gas or electric?
Gas.
Gas. Dodge.
It was not Dodge. Now, what's interesting to me is, out of all the manufacturers of trucks out there, how many manufacturers do you think had entries into the Truck of the Year contest?
Okay, so you got Dodge, Chevy, Ford, Toyota, Nissan. Who am I missing?
You could throw the Cybertruck in there.
Well, you said non-electric.
Yeah, but so two manufacturers. There were only GM trucks, and there was 2 Ford trucks. And then there was an electric entry, was the Hummer, which is a GM product. But only, basically, the Colorado was going up against the GMC Canyon, which is the...
Wait, the Truck of the Year is the Colorado?
Yeah, the Chevrolet Colorado.
Oh, this is like the New York Times best-selling list. It's curated.
So this is
It's fake.
This is what I really understood years ago, is that, like, this award is for purchase, in my opinion. Like, you can
It's fake.
you can buy this award.
It's owned by Chevy.
Yeah. So I thought that was
Because if it was owned by Ford, they would have made the Ford #1.
maybe that's what I think. But the fact that they didn't have a Dodge in the contest, and they didn't put a Toyota in there, and, like, there's a new Tacoma coming out for 2024 that they could have put in there.
Beautiful.
There's a lot of really, really cool trucks that they should have put in this list. Rivian wasn't in there, so I mean there was things that they could have put in. Electric, ICE, whatever it is, there's tons of really good products out there, and they only did 2 brands. And I just think that doesn't help a consumer try to decide what they want to do. So I was super disappointed.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people that don't even notice that.
Yeah, and I didn't until I started to really look into it, because you had to click on, this is on Motor Trend's site, you had to click on a separate article to figure out who was in the contest. So it just talks, like, this article talks about the Colorado winning the Truck of the Year.
You know what's funny? Within like a week period of time, I had this experience where I was sitting with somebody who is in the publishing industry, and they were telling me how the New York Times best-selling list is fake.
Like
and,
this.
And
it's
curated. And at the time, he said, you know what the #1, and this is years ago, you know what the #1 selling book has been all year is some book by Bill O'Reilly at the time. And he goes, it's never appeared on the New York Times bestseller because I don't like him. And I think Jordan Peterson wasn't on there either when he was selling so many books, but they're only doing books that's curated. It's a fake list. And it says right on there that this is curated. I won't tell you the name of the person, but somebody who has had 6 New York Times best-selling books, and I are sitting in his living room. His bulldog is sitting on my lap, and there's a picture of me. Is it a picture or a bio or something that said, when we released gamification, it was #1 on Amazon in 5 different categories. It was #1 in HR for a long time.
Oh, that's interesting. So do you know that IRSM, Irreplaceable Service Manager, and Millionaire Service Advisor are still highly ranked on the
sure.
business categories?
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised
about
about
check
gamification.
from them. And so he tells me, he says something to the effect of that that's a fake list, and that you're not a real author until you're on the New York Times bestselling list.
The curated one.
The curated one. And I go, I just said by chance, I go, how, like your last book that you were number one on there. I go, how many books did you sell that week? And he goes, well, I was on Dr. Phil that week and I sold 6,000 books. And I'm like, yeah, we were selling more than that on Amazon. I go, Amazon is just, the only thing they care about is sales. They don't curate that at all. Like,
right. It's a math problem.
Yeah, there's nobody in there with a pencil writing in names or whatever. It's funny how those sort of lists are curated, but it's a good way to control perception.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lesson there.
Not everybody is as jaded and skeptical as you. Some people just go, hey, I got to go buy the Colorado
Colorado's
because
the
it's
best
the truck of
rated
the
car.
year. And I got to drive the truck of the year, so I'm going to go buy one.
Yeah.
Not everybody is broken inside and jaded and skeptical.
Childhood trauma.
Skeptical. You're skeptical.
It's leaking off of me.
Anything else in the news?
Speaking of skeptical. This is off the Reuters press. In 2023, bold EV strategies took a punch from reality. So it's super interesting that, like, this is, again, I feel like it's a curated article pushing a narrative. And we just have to kind of pay attention to this stuff because they're saying essentially that EVs kind of took a step backwards. And the thing that I would like to kind of point out is maybe they didn't hit expectations, but there was more EVs sold in 2023 than any other year. EVs outpaced the growth of the ICE market, and more people saw increases, or more manufacturers saw increases than any other segment of the business. For instance, Audi, Mercedes, Hyundai and Kia did really, really well with the electric. They all kind of started to grab market share away from Tesla, which we talked about a couple of years ago, that they were ahead of the curve, but that there would be people that got market share, but it wouldn't mean that they sold less vehicles. So Tesla sold more vehicles than they've ever sold electric, and all those manufacturers that I just mentioned also sold more electrics than they ever had before. So it made me do a little bit of research back into when hybrid got launched. And Toyota was one of the first ones. So in 1997 is when they launched the Prius, available in the United States in the year 2000. And they had really tiny sales.
When did
in
Uber
2000.
start?
Oh, I don't remember.
Because every Uber was a Prius.
Yeah, I remember taxis for a long time out here in LA, specifically being Priuses for the longest time. But that took a little while to ramp up, and now, you know, everywhere you look, there's a hybrid of some sort. So I would just say that maybe it's not as fast as they want, but I do think that electrification is a possibility. But they're trying to push the narrative that it's not going to happen, and I don't know that I buy that. I just think it's what people want you to believe.
Well, hold on. How many cars is Tesla going to sell this year?
Well, they sell like 300,000 quarters, so let's say 1.2 million.
No, I think they're going to sell close to 1.8.
Oh, is it that many? I saw 300,000 and a quarter was the last number that I saw. But if they sell 1.8, I wouldn't be surprised. Especially out here, every other car's a Tesla. It's making you want to look it up.
Tell a joke for a second.
Yeah. So what did one snowman say to the other?
What?
Yeah, I smell carrots too. This is like a winter speed round.
Yeah.
1.8 million?
That was their projection, and people thought that they would do 2 million.
That would be pretty impressive.
So when you say that the other companies are getting market share, there was they're still doubling their sales every year.
Yeah.
So next year they think they can sell 4 million. So every year Tesla is doubling their sales.
But at that moment, who cares about the total market share? They're selling more than they have ever sold before, and it's 4 million's getting close to their capacity, what they could do anyway with the giga plants and all that stuff. So there's a world where everyone can win. Like Audi wouldn't say they did a bad job in electrics, I wouldn't think, you know. So I don't think that Tesla cares if they lost market share, if they sold more vehicles than they've ever sold before. Although Elon's kind of funny.
It's fascinating to me that you had a Tesla and then went away from it.
I did. It's true.
I wonder how many people do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Predictions for 2024.
Bold.
You want to go
predictions.
first?
Yeah.
So, I thought it'd be funny if we put these in an envelope and didn't open them until the end of 2024. But
Yeah, I think we should, and then we could.
we'll
put
just
it,
go back and compare.
Could put it in a display case. It'd be funny. All right, so I've got 4 total predictions on here. The first is I believe that the EV startup, stop, all that stuff is going to affect the vehicle sales. I think it's going to all go down. I think it's going to confuse consumers, and they're not going to know what to do. So I think they're going to keep their car.
Okay.
So that's one of my predictions. And kind of a cousin of that prediction is that the average age of a passenger vehicle is going to be over 14 years for the first time in history.
I think that's pretty good
So the
prediction.
the third prediction that I've got is that 1 in 2 new general managers will come from fixed operations. I think
I think that's a little
You think that's bold?
bold, yeah.
Not as bold.
Optimistic.
Not as bold as my last prediction.
What's that?
The Chicago Cubs will win the World Series.
You hear that silence?
I did.
Those are all the people that agree with you.
4 people passed out.
Okay.
So those are my predictions for 2024.
I predict that there's going to be some sort of government aid for all the negative equity, kind of like cash for clunkers.
Brilliant.
It's going to become a big problem. Sales on the front end are going to drop. Demand will drop while inventories increase.
Yep. Okay. I like that one.
I think there's going to be more and more consolidation in dealer groups. And then I think that not 2024, but by 2025, 2026, 2 of the big 3 will merge.
And if you had to guess which 2, who do you think it'll be?
Ford and Chevy.
I agree with
Or
that.
Ford
I
and
think Ford and
GM.
GM.
Will
I think if
become
there's
one.
going to be consolidation, I think it'll be Stellantis versus the Ford GM thing.
And Ford will be the one.
Oh, that they'll absorb the
Yeah.
GM brands? That's interesting. Those are pretty good. What do you think they'll call the government subsidy program? Because Cash for Clunkers was pretty catchy.
Well, who's going to be the president?
Oh yeah, we have that. We can predict too. Holy crap!
Well, I think whoever the president is going to determine the name. Because, like, say, for example, if it's Trump, he's a marketer, so he's going to call it Trump's buyback program.
Yeah, but they
name it
won't.
after himself.
But they won't take office till 2025.
Oh.
I think that this is going to happen in 2024 under Biden's watch.
God, am I just secretly hoping that the election's sooner than it is?
Maybe a little bit. Do you have a prediction of who's going to win? Who do you think is going to win?
Oh, I hate them all. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of all the games. I don't know. I'm so worried that Gavin's going to be the next one up. And for the life of me, I don't understand how he's the governor here when he's made such a mess. He may be the worst in the history. Like, he's made such a mess. When he came in, he had $100 billion surplus. I think we're running the taxes we pay here. We're running an $80 billion deficit.
It's a $200 billion swing.
In an up economy. Just think about the amount of waste and mistakes and, like, it's just nuts.
It's not been fun.
No.
All right. I'm predicting DeSantis. We'll see what happens, but
Yeah. I mean, you're a Florida guy.
yeah.
I don't think there's one of them I like, really.
I don't think that there's nobody that we're due for a president that everybody likes. I would really love to see that.
What about Kennedy?
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't hate that idea, but I don't understand why people are campaigning against him.
Well, because he's competition.
Right, but there's nothing incendiary about him, but they're trying to make it up.
Well, it's incendiary if you're a pharmaceutical company.
Which most people aren't.
Yeah, but the biggest advertisers on TV are.
Yeah, that's true.
Which then media, news is on TV funded by that, right?
Yeah, so then they push their budgets onto candidates. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so let's see what happens, though.
I think more and more we're having an experience economy.
There's a lot to learn there.
The industry needs to think of that. We leave the experience to chance, but everywhere else people want to go somewhere where they're taking a selfie and it's shareable and fun, and it's a way for them to express their identity.
I just saw this yesterday and I didn't print it because I didn't have enough time to do research to make sure it was valid or not. They just did a recent survey that consumers would rather go to independents than dealers for service. It's the first time in history that people say they prefer to go to the independent, even though the statistics say that they do anyways, but the preference is to go to independent.
Yeah, the dealers just leave it to chance. It's an afterthought.
Yeah. So that's something that could be interesting to talk about in the coming weeks is we're going to have to get really good at that part.
Well, we are excited for a new year, and we hope you are too. We appreciate you spending this time with us, and we'll see you again real soon. Thanks for tuning in to Service Drive Revolution. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Service Drive Revolution. We're uploading new stuff every day, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, call 8333-ASK-SDR and we'll answer your question on the show. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. For special deals on our books and training, head over to offers.chriscollinsinc.com. Now that's offers.chriscollinsinc.com. I'm Chris Collins, and I'll see you in the next video.